Where's Mike?
Go live.
Is Mike here? He said he was live.
Oh, that mic is. Yeah.
Steve called and he said he was.
I can.
So technically, what are we calling this?
Okay.
Just a public meeting?
Your,
Yeah.
Just like
your
a
mic
town
is
hall
still live.
meeting.
It's just
Yeah,
not
town hall.
echoing like that.
No minutes or action.
I would be in a meter call roll or not, did we?
I don't think we do. Since we're not really, I'm just taking notes. I'm not.
Check your cubby hole.
Oh, so, okay, yes. Everybody ready? Everybody
Mayor, are you going to announce the pledge?
Yeah.
Just to remind everyone that anyone who is a veteran, retired, or active duty during the pledge can salute as opposed to hand over heart, or they do either they choose.
Call this town hall public meeting to order at 5:30 today on Monday, March 28th. There will be no action taken tonight. So, and for the record, all members of council are here. And we will begin with the prayer led by Councilman Perry, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance led by Councilman Smallwood.
Shall we pray? Our Heavenly Father, once again, we've come to do the biddings of the city of Oak Hill. Lord, as we undertake this, may we be attentive to those who have come to the public hearing. May each of us as councilmen listen intently, make decisions that would be in the best interest of the city. Now, at this time, Lord, we're told to pray for our government. We know that it's troubled times in this world. We ask, Lord, a special prayer on the people from Ukraine. We ask a prayer for Russians because we know there are Christians in Russia as well. So again, we would ask for prayer for those. We'd ask you to lead and guide the situation. If it's your will, please bring peace to the area and protection of those people in Ukraine. Now, Lord, as we go through the remainder of this meeting, may everything we do be pleasing to you and be acceptable in your eyes. And Lord, for each council member here, we thank you for them. We thank you for their willingness to serve. We thank you for the time that they are away from their families, their individual families, and the employees of the city as well. So once again, go with us through the remainder of this meeting. And all of God's children said, amen.
Allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'll now turn this meeting over to Mr. Hannibas and then we'll get to the public speakers whenever you're through with your comments.
Okay, I'm going to reiterate just a little bit, and I believe I have an understanding of council. We have ARPA funding in the amount of $3.4 million. And I don't want to belittle that whatsoever. That's a lot of money. I don't care who you are. But to put it in perspective, our annual revenue is $4 million plus. And just as a side note to that, to do what I would like to do, I believe we need annual revenues of about $12 million, but that's typical Southern West Virginia. So, but anyway, council has discussed 3 areas, and quite obviously they want input, but council has discussed 3 areas of that money from ARPA could be spent that would be have a long-term effect. And one of those is outdoor recreation, things like our Needles Eye Park, our city park, those kind of things that have a long-term effect. And also one of our pieces of infrastructure that is lacking because of the, like I said, lack of revenue that we should have is sidewalks. Sidewalks in the city of Oak Hill are subpar. They're not up to our standard. And the third thing that is a problem, has been a problem for a long time, and no matter how much money you throw at it, will always be a problem. But I think the council believes there's could be vast improvement in our stormwater drainage. So those are 3 things that council's talked about, and now they invite public for comment and very much listen to public, and of course you all are going to listen to folks that aren't physically sitting here tonight as well. But anyway, so I believe that prefaces with the sentiment of council, and so at this time I would invite council if you have any comments before the public comments, and if not, we can go right into that.
I just have a question. These are 3 areas which council has expressed an interest in spending some of that money for these 3 areas, but the public can bring up other areas.
Yeah,
which they have
absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
Bill, I have a question. That's 3.4 now that has to be encumbered by when?
We have 4 years to
Okay.
spend that.
Now, do we get a second?
We should get that up in around August.
Of this year? So that would be another 3.4.
No,
No.
we got 1.7 last August, and then we should get another 1.7.
Okay,
Yep.
thank you. Thank you. And I would only corroborate what the city manager said, but we've not taken any vote on this at any time, and had no special meetings other than just during council, a little chatter. So yes. Other than that, I'm anxious to hear what these folks have for us.
Okay.
Any more comments from council before the public speaks? Anyone else in Ward 1, Ward 2, at large? No one? All right. We'll move to public comments. John David. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you. I'm sorry, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, right there. Thank you. Thank you.
I appreciate the opportunity to say a few words about a couple of things that we would like to present for consideration. As stated in this handout I just presented to you, the first item is the historic Oak Hill School. And it has to do with the roof. As you know, the historic Oak Hill School was built in 1928 and is one of only 2 buildings in the city in the National Register of Historic Places. It has a severely leaking main roof that threatens the structural integrity of the building. The project would stabilize and replace the roof. The facility provides many services, including a 911 emergency shelter with the Fayette County Office of Emergency Management, an emergency alert radio station, health trainings, used bookstore, and the Helen M. Powell Food Pantry, as well as a community auditorium, gym, and fitness center. The facility is handicap accessible, as well as offers a very large parking area that is frequently used for community events due to the downtown proximity. The status of the roof and repair bid are depicted in the attached information. So you have a bid there and everything. I just want to say that I think the building is a gem, a real gem in the town. And I think that when you look at other facilities and schools around the county, we have tried very, very hard to keep the building, in a very presentable condition. We're not perfect, but we try hard. And I think, I hope you will agree that it is a nice looking facility. The second thing is the Helen M. Powell Food Pantry. The Helen M. Powell Food Pantry, which is operated by Sal's at the historic Oak Hill School, which, by the way, will have a food pantry on Friday, currently serves over 100 families with approximately 400 people. Our focus is on low income and elderly people, and we're very concerned about seniors and those who are disabled in the area. We depend on the Mountaineer Food Bank for its low-cost food items to prepare food boxes for people, but we desire to obtain healthier food from the food bank and other sources to offer fresh vegetables and items not normally made available. We also offer face masks and sanitizers and similar items, which are often unavailable in the area during pandemic or emergency periods. Sal's delivers food to shut-ins as well as providing distributions. What we would like some funds for is, one, provide improved nutrition and healthy food for families. Number two, obtain additional refrigeration and freezer equipment for food storage. And third, convert a Sal's vehicle to a health department approved mobile food distribution unit in order to access those in need who are seniors and or disabled. And the third thing is the emergency 911 shelter. The emergency 911 shelter, which is operated by Sal's at the historic Oak Hill School, needs several repairs and upgrades. The facility can accommodate hundreds of people in the event of an area emergency, but needs the following. It needs repairs to the fire escape. It needs repairs to bathroom facilities. It needs repairs to beds and furnishings. And we need to purchase and install a stair lift to provide handicap accessibility for the second floor sleeping area. So in essence, we would appreciate your consideration of these critical areas in the city's rescue initiative. Together, we can make a difference to overcome the setbacks that area families are facing or might occur. I would be willing to take any questions or comments, or I'd be pleased to sit down.
And Dr. David, you've given an extensive list here. If the city were able to help you and you only could have one of these, would it be the roof?
It has to be the roof. It has to be to protect the integrity of the building.
Dr. David, do you have an emergency generator?
Yes,
Do,
the emergency generator was installed a few years ago. It provides power to the entire building. It's huge. And it was, we got it through donations and with an arrangement we had with Lowe's.
Hey, John, this is just for partial roof replacement, right? This is the
Yes.
price for just partial.
Yes, it's a roof replacement over. The building is shaped like a horseshoe with the,
Right.
and then in the middle is the auditorium and the gym, and it's that middle piece that's a problem right now for us.
What would it cost to do the whole roof?
The bid is in here that we have in mind. It's the third.
I see one's 113,000. Is that the whole roof,
I think that's partial.
or is that just part of it?
That's the roof that's leaking.
Yes, auditorium roof. only.
So it's not the entire roof.
Well, the roof that's around the horseshoe and the edge, we're okay with.
Hmm.
If that's what you're asking.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if that's just part of it, what would the whole thing cost?
Well, I don't know, but the part that is a problem for us right now is this,
113,000.
is centerpiece, yes. Mhm, exactly.
Bill, I have a question. Are monies available because of a historical site status? Are there federal monies available just because of that, or has that been making sense?
Well, you mean being on the National Register of
Yes,
Historic
yes,
Places?
historical site preservation monies.
Right. I am trying to explore that. You know, I have been so far unsuccessful.
Letters been written or contacts been, okay.
Yes. And this matter that is before you in that regard was actually presented to you almost to this day, a year ago.
And at that time, we committed,
Well, I thought we talked about you going to talk to the county commission, somebody like that. Was it? I could be wrong, but
Yeah, it's county commission.
have you had any feedback from them? Have you been over there?
Well, they're not either. They're not responsive, and they haven't been. I have submitted things, but they are interested in broadband. I forget. I'm sorry, I can't speak for them, but they had some other, major things that they were looking at doing, and I can't speak for the county commission, but we have
But no feedback as far as.
no
Committed to anything.
feedback. But if you want to watch what we did, it's on their website. Well, whatever it's on, we made some presentations, but it's been.
Doesn't the federal government, when it comes to Mr. Perry's question about being on the National Register, doesn't the federal government in many cases not give direct aid like you're wanting, but they give tax credits?
Well, I don't know how that would work, Dan. Tax
know.
credits, I know that, well, I really want to say that I'm a little bit ignorant on that, okay? We get tax credits from the state of West Virginia, small amount, for donations, for vehicles and other things, that people contribute, but I don't know how that works. I think that if a contractor works on a building, they might be eligible for a tax break.
I've worked on some of this that you're talking about, other projects over the years. And we always found it almost impossible to get direct money like that. But they offered you all kinds of other incentives, which in your case was not going to be a whole lot of help because a 20% tax credit's not going to keep the rain out, I don't believe. But that's I've worked on these kind of projects before. Here's I ask you a question. And I know what you're talking about on that.
Precisely.
I got one more question, John. Sorry, go ahead. Mr. Perry. I know you got a quote here. Yeah, I know you do. You have construction workers at your, are they going to be doing the work to put the roof on, or are you going to have to hire somebody out?
We would hire someone out because the roof is a very complicated, intricate thing. It has to be done according to code and everything else.
Right.
And the people that we have who are Vistas and, they're nice folks, and we have only a few of them. But
Right.
I
Okay,
think
I got you.
we need to do it right.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Just want to mention one thing to you, Dr. David. Has very little to do with this particular meeting we have, but Senator Manchin currently has the congressionally directed spending for FY 2023, what we call earmarks And later this week, Senator Capito is coming out with. I believe this is something that would be eligible. But before I say definitely, let me look at my paperwork and I'll call you tomorrow. Just, it's a possibility.
Thank you. Yep.
Now, as I understand it, our original agreement was that we would match whatever the county did. And I hear you saying the county's done nothing. Which if we chose to proceed, where would 50,000 put you? Nowhere.
Oh, no, it would put us somewhere. We would have some leverage.
I mean,
I
that's a
think.
half's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
yeah, it's about a half.
If we
It
choose
would
to
provide
reverse our
some
decision.
leverage to make, I think we could make other folks feel like they should be equally supportive. The facility, serves a very broad area.
And that was my next question. You anticipated. Have you approached other cities to help? Because like you said, not only does Oak Hill benefit, but people from other areas benefit.
Well, the answer is convoluted, but I have approached other cities to support our summer program and feeding program, just like I asked the city of Oak Hill to do
Right.
that. And so far, the city of Oak Hill has stepped forward and the others have not. But in the past, we have got a little bit of support from Montgomery.
By personal appearance or by letter, you've approached those?
Well, what I do is I send a letter as I did
To us, right?
to you all. And then when there is an invitation or a sense that I need to push a little harder, I will
Do so.
do so.
Again, as Bill said, we're not going to take any action. We're just listening. So
Well, I do appreciate the chance that, the
Sure.
opportunity for you to listen. This is I think the building itself is just a marvelous piece of architecture. And I was really sad when the somewhat similar building burned in Montgomery. We actually had looked at that building and it was complicated in terms of how to access it. It was sold for taxes and then it was sold to somebody and just got real complicated. But the architecture of these buildings are really impressive. I think I'm giving you an editorial comment here, but I really feel impressed by these facilities, and it makes me very, very upset to see them stand vacant and deteriorate. Whether it's the East End Elementary or whether it's the school in Anstead sitting up there, or whether it's what I don't know what's happening in Mount Hope. That's an opinion, okay?
Any more questions for Dr. David?
And the people that you were going to have work on, or would those be local, or do you have any idea who you might get
There's a
to
bid
work
there.
on? Okay, the bid.
I would like that. We try to purchase and patronize local all the time. And I take great pride when we pay bills once a month to drive down Main Street and drop off checks all the way out to Adam Town, all the way down the road, so we would encourage and hope that, I'm a supporter of that.
Thank you.
To follow up on Council Janie's question, how did you obtain this quote from Fry? Was it a publication in the newspaper and they responded to, or did you just seek them and they gave you a quote?
We asked a number of people to bid on it,
Uh-huh.
and we got this one. we wanted something to give us an idea of what we were asking for. And so we, we wanted someone to come there and climb up there and look at the situation. You can see the pictures that we took. They're attached here. So I would say we ask several, 3 or 4 different folks that we know who do roofs to come up with something. And this is just one of them right now.
No one else responded to,
Well, they responded, I guess, I'm gonna. They looked at the building.
but they didn't give you a quote.
They didn't give us a quote. They said, wow, we're gonna have to bring in a crane. We're gonna look at those power lines that are back there. How are we gonna, And I don't know if you've been on the roof or not, but for us to get on the roof, we have to go on a vertical little ladder in a room on the 3rd floor.
Right.
Have you been up there?
I've been up there.
Okay.
What it's supposed to be is one of us little boys.
Anyway,
I was just curious.
yeah,
Tom.
it's a challenge to go up there and see what needs to be done. But I'll tell you, when you're up there, it's like a picture here. It's a panoramic view of the town, and someday if we have enough foresight or money or whatever, maybe we could have a Hannah Bass Hotel or something, right?
So in terms of bids or roofs, not to put Kevin on the spot, but I know he's done a lot of dealing on roofs. You might talk to Kevin about who he has
Sure.
used or got bids from, if he's willing to share that information. Not to put him on the spot or put you on the spot too, as Tom said, it'd be nice to see 3 bids or he didn't say that, but
Well, I think if it is public money, there has to be some public bids.
right. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Dr.
Thank you
David.
very much. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
you guys.
Thank you. Thank you for your time. Frank Pauley.
I guess I'm here to ask for some money for a disc golf course in Needles Eye. I'm not good at this right here. Need about $25,000.
What's that provide, Frankie?
Concrete pads, disc golf baskets, a little bit of cutting of trees. He's got people that could help. Can't do roofs, but they could move brush. There'll be a bunch of brush moving. I know the past 2 months I've been over Fayetteville helping do one for them
Mhm.
at the K-8. And it's been a whole lot of work. We've moved a lot of brush. We've got plans. Bill's got our plan to put one out there. We just need some money.
It's 18 holes, Frankie.
Yes, sir.
18.
We spent Saturday down in Princeton. Y'all know what kind of weather we had Saturday.
Disc golf.
There was 58 people playing in a tournament down there in the snow. I mean, it was, I couldn't believe it, but it was.
Golfers are crazy, even disc golf.
Yes, they did 2 rounds in the snow. I couldn't believe it. It's a very growing sport. $25,000, I think it would bring, I mean, we take vacations, disc golf vacations.
So is this on city property?
Yes, yes, a Needles Eye.
Okay, I just wanted to know.
Yes, we're
So
working.
you're doing it from what perspective? The designer or overseer,
Kinda.
contract employee for the city, or,
I just want a disc golf course. I
okay,
mean,
I
just.
got you. So
we've
you
got-
would oversee it, or,
Yes, I do whatever Bill tells me to do, I jump and run.
golly, we can't get that kind of.
Frank's been real interested in it for a
Okay.
long time, and
So
he's already done a lot of volunteer work for the course.
the $25,000 figures documented, arrived at how? I mean, you,
Kind of what we did at the Fayetteville.
so you have,
The baskets are all gonna cost about 13. That was in concrete. You got concrete pads. I like to have long pads and short pads. Like me, I'm a little better than you. The
right,
short ones would be good for you, her.
I'm an old man, I gotta have short.
Yeah, okay, I'm getting there. And the long ones is for the better people. And we kind of got a plan for both.
So that documentation could or would or probably have to be made available.
Yeah,
That would come from a contractor or from you,
I
or
have.
you got the documentation
Yes, I
already.
Submitted stuff to Bill about plans, and then I've got New River Disc Golf.
Okay,
I've got them kind of doing another plan at what it's gonna cost, and it's real close to the same.
thank you.
Good idea.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate your
Thank you.
vision.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Mr. Willis.
City council, everybody, mayor. What I would like, and I mean, I've said this over a long time, which I mean, Frankie, I mean, that's just a tip of the iceberg with the disc golf. I mean, honestly, if we could put some of this money into parks and recreation to where it would go for lighting and parking, and because the thing is all these tourists that are going to be coming to the area, if they pull in a parking lot that is just a blank piece of gravel lot, there's no signage, there's no nothing and everything. So that's the thing. I mean, that's the stuff that needs to be allocated. But I mean, as you can put money in it, it'll do as well too. A couple other things I'd like to see, and I've talked to a lot of people in town and other businessmen, I'd like to see going into the town is mainly like, which is being talked about already, is the street design. And I'd like to see the city maybe help some of these buildings that are dilapidated or empty or anything, maybe help them to bring them up to par. I mean, there's some names in town that, they can't bring their building up to par because of the cost. But the thing is, if they can, go through the proper procedures and bring these buildings up to par, I mean, the thing is, it's easy to stand here and say, oh, well, we need to get this building fixed, and this building fixed. I mean, I'm getting ready to put $148,000 in Bryan Service Center building starting next month. Well, it's not, I ain't applied for the permit. So, but starting within the next month or so. So the thing is that the people around here are willing to invest. And that's like, there's another name, which I'm not going to say, but is in this town that he's willing to invest. But the thing is I believe if the city will take some of this money and kind of lead the way a little bit, everybody else will fall in suit, and then it'll just make it grow all together. But the thing is, we got to pay attention to the details, the sidewalks, the building scape, the lighting. I mean, and not fall behind. I mean, because the thing is, this money, if it's allocated right, can last for a lot of years. And it's simple stuff. I mean, we've got a lot of buildings on Main Street that are empty and dilapidated. I mean, I mean, y'all all drive Main Street. I mean, it's all right there. And the other thing is we've got businesses leaving Main Street that shouldn't be leaving Main Street. And I mean, you're getting ready to have more empty buildings. So that's the thing. We need to do something to where we can drive business or investors to come in here and make it appealing to them. Because right now it's not appealing one bit. It's almost like it's an uphill battle to do it. So that's the thing. We need to make it more appealing. And I believe with the money, with that amount of money, you can make a lot of things happen, a lot of things fast. But the thing I'd like to see is, like I said, with Frank and them, the parks and recreation develop. I mean, a lot of it go there. But also, I'd like to see it be transparent to the citizens of Oak Hill where the money's going. Like, let's show where it's going. Let's show like where it's going to be allocated. You know what I mean? That way they can see, they can say, hey, we put $50,000 or $25,000 in disc golf. We put that money here. That's the thing. I talk to so many different people. They don't have a clue. I mean, they just don't. And I know y'all do a really good job of putting it out there and everything like that. But if it's allocated out in different areas, I think it'll flourish.
We're doing a better job with Aaron.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
last
Aaron's
two
going,
articles
hey,
been very good.
she's awesome.
And Bill.
Honestly.
And Bill's releases, so we intend
Yeah.
to do that. I've got to leave and I apologize. May I ask one question? What would you think would be a fair figure of this money to what you suggested, or what would be a guesstimate that you would have?
I mean, I'd like to see at least a quarter of it go to Main Street. I'd like to see at least a quarter of it go to Main Street. And I mean, in building design and development, and then, to help with everything. And then I mean, honestly, because that's just like our city parking lot. That is a big resource. And I mean, granted, we got a couple spotlights on that city parking lot, but you walk from Cafe 110 to the city parking lot at 9 o'clock at night. I mean, honestly, because my wife wouldn't do it if I wasn't beside of her. Because the thing is, you can't see going down the street to get there. I mean, all our side streets are dark. I mean, we got one spotlight in there. I mean, there's so much simple stuff we could do to make it more appealing. I mean, that's just like the lights over there beside Chase Bank. I mean, honestly, if they wanted to relinquish them, I mean, I don't see why the city couldn't take them over and take care of it.
They have agreed to repair those.
That's awesome. I mean, honestly, that's awesome.
I mean,
It's the
I'm
small
agreeing
stuff.
with you,
Yeah.
and I'm saying, but we've got that addressed
Yeah.
too, so we're a little bit ahead.
Because I mean, that's the biggest thing. And that's my biggest thing down on the other side, like down on East End. I mean, I've put in probably 25 lights. And I've got a few more. I'm waiting on Power Company to put 2 more in because of the new business going on the corner down there by the old Domino's. Because I mean, it's just dark. I mean, it's dark. It's not inviting. I mean, and that's, we got to make it inviting.
Although your point is well taken, Mr. Willis, those people that you talked to, where are they?
Well, but
We did
well,
this, intentionally,
yeah,
not that we couldn't come up with ways to spend the money. We want to invite the public and get their ideas.
Yeah.
But other than a few, they're not here.
oh, I know. And that's what I preach. I mean, I preach it and preach it and preach it. But I mean, I don't know if it's just their, in previous administrations, they tried and got so much pushback. I don't know. I mean, I don't know why they're not, but, and I mean, honestly, like, I'll tell you another one that I'd really like to see, is something for the seniors, some type of building that seniors can go and have senior events. Just a building that at the public's disposal. I mean, Lewis Center, the Lewis Center is nice, but the Lewis Center is very picky on how they do. They're very picky. They're not inviting
And costly.
and costly. But the thing is, there's a lot of seniors, and that's just like over here at the hospital. They took the senior circle away, and honestly, there was actually quite a few. I mean, there's probably 12 to 15 people that use that religiously, and then other people as well. But I mean, honestly, there's nothing for social, which I know we're coming out of a pandemic and all that. But I mean, honestly, I went down to Montgomery the other day and seen Byron. And I don't know if y'all know Byron or not, but I'll tell you what, he's 92 years old. He's been in the clothing business for 72 years, sharp as a tack, but he interacts with people. He gets out and does stuff. And that's the thing with our seniors, they're not able to. You ask the kids and you ask the seniors, the two biggest things. The kids, there's nothing to do for kids, but the seniors, it's like there's more to do for the kids. But it's like I've heard. I mean, I've got some of them that come down in the shop and hang out just to socialize. So I mean, look at McDonald's. I mean, that's what I'm saying.
We're looking, and this, again, it's just discussion. We're looking at a replacement for the Scout Camp.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, and it served a purpose for 50, 60, 70 years. Wonderful. It wasn't sized to where we've liked it.
Mhm.
So we have an opportunity here for a variety of ways to come up with a building that will accommodate what you're talking about, plus other things.
Yeah.
And I think that when we put our heads together, look at cost, I think that's something that will come out of the ARP money
Mhm.
or other monies. We're looking at other ways to do as the one I mentioned to John. There's other ways too, but yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, wouldn't dedicate it just to seniors,
Yeah.
but to everybody and young people too. So but we
Well-
do need a facility that is sized to accommodate those and where people could so enjoy it.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
I
and
agree with
honestly,
you.
that would be awesome. That would be awesome.
On the street design repair, you are aware of what.
Yeah,
going on.
yeah,
You're
yeah.
on
I
that.
was gonna say, we're getting ready to interview one, which actually, I mean, pretty awesome, which is awesome. I mean, it's
One
beyond
thing I'd
awesome.
like to see come of that, I always believe in some type of equity. If we're going to, provide some means financial to a building owner, then I believe they need some type of equity in it.
Oh, yes, I
Whether it's
agree.
sweat equity or financial. And you talk about these people with these vacant buildings, they're in Chicago.
I know. Yeah.
They're in Nashville, Tennessee.
Yeah.
And they really, I honestly say this because I've been facilitated with this city since 1987, and as Governor Justice says, some way, shape, form, or fashion. And a lot of these people don't care. They don't, that's why we had to initiate this abandoned building assessment. And they don't even care about that.
Yeah.
And it's what? $2, $4, $8, $16, $3,200 a year.
Yeah.
So if there's a way to enhance them coming back and putting some money, with it, then I think the city would entertain there are cities in Southern West Virginia that have a program
Yeah.
where you apply for that type of assistance. And as long as you're willing to put up something, whether it's you provide some of the labor or whatever, these cities are doing it. And it's been, I think, somewhat successful. So
Oh, yeah.
I'm not going to speak for council, but I'm certain it's something they would consider.
Yeah, and I mean, I fully agree with you. They'd have to put some equity in with it. I mean, I'm not saying like a charity event. I'm just saying, if it's, because I mean, as well as I do, it's costly to do anything anymore.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's ridiculous,
If you
but
can get the building materials.
yeah, if you can get the material, that's 100% right. But my only thing is if we can get, it goes, I always say, it's like your neighbor's yard. You keep your yard mowed and your neighbor's bound to keep his mowed. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm, yeah, hopefully. But, yeah, but I mean, it
You're
almost
right most of the time.
shames them into doing it, and that's what I'm saying. I mean, if we can get, I firmly believe if we can get the ball rolling, if the ball will start rolling, I think that it would just take off.
Yeah, sometimes it is contagious.
Yeah.
You see your neighbor painting their storage building, you want to, want to
Yeah.
do something. And 90% of the people in this community want to do what's right.
Yeah.
I believe in that. So, but it does aggravate me, these people who live far away. They're paying a minimal tax on these facilities and they just don't seem to care. I don't know. We need to find a way to communicate to them and invite them, make it something they want to do instead of have to do too. So
Yeah.
that point well taken.
Thank you.
Kevin, I
Thank you.
liked all your ideas. I hope we're able to expand on those.
Hopefully one day.
Yeah.
Hopefully one day. Hopefully don't run out of fire first. Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Hannibal, is there anyone on Zoom?
No, there's not.
Oh, he's- Yeah, I just told him I could put him on speaker. David's wanting to join in on phone, but. I
Tell
can
him
put
it
him
cost
on-
him.
I think Jim is wanting to speak.
Do you want him on?
Oh, there's someone else wants to speak? All right, Mr. Ayers.
I'm
No.
typing right now, telling him how to get on YouTube.
I arrived late for the sign up, so that's why I didn't get on the list. I agree with what Kevin, Frankie said. If you're all gonna invest that kind of money into putting a roof in this man's building, why can't we use that space? If it's gonna be for an emergency 911 center, I mean, why couldn't you build something in there? Why do we gotta erect a building? If
You
we're
mean-
gonna-
Seniors?
Huh?
For a senior center?
Well, I mean, we're gonna invest $113,000. Why not let him use that space for some of the elderly to go and use? I mean, it's a 911 emergency center. Unless there's an emergency, it's gonna be a vacant building.
I don't think it's vacant. Is
Well,
it,
the
Dr.
area
Davis?
is. But also, we need to take and invest in some signage for Oak Hill. You go through Fayetteville any time of the day, you see foot traffic from all these rafting companies. We don't get that in Oak Hill. We don't get the tourists here like they're getting over there. We need to, when these people, this was discussed at city council before, when they're coming out of Ace and these different rafting companies, we need to have signage, what we have here in Oak Hill. We need to promote our city with some of this money to keep the people here, let them spend their money here. Maybe put some signs on the interstate. But I do know when I go over to Fayetteville to the courthouse, there's always tourists. All you see in Oak Hill are the same people every day walking up and down the street. You don't get new people in here. And that's what we need to do. We need to bring more people to Oak Hill. And maybe some of them want to stay and fill some of them empty buildings we got uptown. Just a few thoughts.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ayers.
There's no one on Zoom. All right. All right, that concludes the public speakers who are here, and there's apparently there are no speakers on Zoom.
Thank you for those of you that,
Yeah,
Yes,
thank you for
all
showing up.
coming out.
Thank you for your comments.
It's a one-time deal, Kevin. So, I mean,
They can't be used
Well, I
for
just didn't
salaries.
know, like a code enforcer, if you can make him full-time. I know Mr. Wright can't go full-time, but if you would have a full-time code enforcer. I mean, I didn't know if that money was there.
yeah, I mean, you could, as far as I know, you could use that funding, but it's,
Then you'd have to pay for it
It's-
after.
yeah, it's a one-time shot of 3.4.
like Bill said at the opening, it's a lot of money. But we spend that much every year. So we need to spend it wisely, have a long-term use. Signage is one thing we've been talking about for some time. And facility storefronts. So all well, good comments, and his disc golf course. I know the one at Collins Park sees a lot of play, does it not?
It does, and Frank can probably
Yeah.
speak to that better than I can, being a player.
I think anything that's outdoor and recreation wise is a plus right now. So,
Yeah. And I don't know how many, I mean, council does, but I don't know. I'll talk about this for a second, but you know, there are a lot of projects in the works right now. And they're not designed from A to Z yet, but the city park, you know, we have plans for a skateboard park. Those are very expensive. I found that out. I got sticker shock. But to do a quality skateboard park is an expensive project. A full-size basketball court, full-size high school basketball court at the park, and several other things, you know, looking at bleachers and different things. A park in Mendon. In fact, I was talking today that got drained, that lot today. I don't know if you saw it or not, Steve. We're lighting the White Oak Rail Trail. We're putting LED street lights in this section of town to begin with. Needles Eye Park is getting about $500,000 spent on it. That includes signage, trails, in conjunction with the disc golf. And hopefully very soon a restroom facility there that's very expensive with utilities. And I'm leaving out something, I'm sure. And of course, this benefits public safety, but not each individual. We're doing an extension on the fire station as well. So there's a lot. There's, you know, and like I said, our budget, our annual budget's just over 4 million. And we have, I left out 2 big projects. We're also doing stormwater mitigation in Mendon. That's a $4.7 million project. And we are also, the last phase of sewer improvement in Mendon. And I know that's mundane compared to Parks and Recreation, but that's 7.2 million. So you add that up and compare it to what our annual revenues are, and there's a lot of grants out there that we're taking advantage of. So, and some of it's not that exciting, like the last two I mentioned. It's not exciting, but very, very necessary.
Very
Behind the scenes.
It's important for the people of Minden. And also, because ACE is there, perhaps the improvements to their drainage and sewer might cause some of those homes that are occupiable to be occupied. In McDowell County, as sad as the situation is there, their weekends, ATV riders are renting, I don't know how many of those old company homes.
Yep.
And mostly it's to the weekend, but it's something. And it's they bring some money in.
I have a friend that has 3 homes down there. That's where his wife's from. And they have their own home place, a couple others. But he said that the revenue, well, I mean, he has 3 homes. And like he said, he couldn't rent them if he wanted to, but he does the VRBO down there. And he said last year he done a little over $143,000 off 3 homes.
And not too shabby, is it?
No, no.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's like he said, I mean, the side by side and the ATVs, he said, that's like, I mean, he said they grabbed a hold of it and they're really holding on to it. But the little shops and stuff, he said, are exploding.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have Rimfire Trail to
That's
look
what I'm
forward
saying.
to. Yeah.
It's gonna be this way. It's good. I mean, it's gonna be really good.
Where are they at that project still?
There's still, because I call every now and then and ask about where the trailheads are going to be situated and that kind of thing. And I'm not getting a lot of detail, but the money's there. It's going to happen. That's what they keep saying.
They just closed the last 2 easements. So now they can move forward with putting where they're gonna put the trailhead. and all that, But they did secure the last 2 land easements.
Yeah, that trailhead location is going to be key too.
Yeah. And one other thing I failed to mention, and I need to, with these public projects that are in one way or another underway, Virginia Street Sidewalks is a project that's going to happen. It's woefully underfunded because it was planned 12 years ago, or actually more than 12 years ago. So that project is, you're going to see that happen very soon. And that's probably going to require some money chipped in, if, you know, which it's your all's choice, but I think it's a wise expenditure of money. That's a horrendous piece of sidewalk on a very busy thoroughfare of Oak Hill. And the other thing I want to mention is that this city, Public Works, the sanitary board, is better equipped, better manned, better experienced than just about any municipality this size. I'll go ahead and say any municipality this size. We're getting ready to do a drainage project to alleviate Trump Avenue. It's been horrendous for a long time. Or Trump Avenue is going to get ripped up again. I hate that, but you'll see that work. That's in-house work. And I let council know the other day that there was a sanitary board emergency repair that I'm estimating would have been a $250,000 job and very complex. And the Oak Hill Sanitary Board employees did that. No problem. So we do a lot of things in-house as well. Some of it's behind the scenes that nobody realizes, but very necessary.
All right, is there any more comments, Mr. Hannibus?
No, sir.
All right.
I'm sorry to
All right.
take up so much
No,
time.
I just want to make sure everybody had gotten their last points in. Anyone on council have any last comments before the meeting's adjourned?
When do we take action? Like, when we want to, or?
Yeah,
Just-
you can do it bit by bit.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
So it's kind of,
yeah.
we don't have to just like say one time.
Yeah, well, I think,
Okay, we're in the middle of the meeting, Mr. Perry. You can listen, everybody can hear you too.
Any others? Well, thank you all for showing up. Thank you for your input. We appreciate it. The notes were kept as to what you said by our able clerk here, Demita Johnson. So we do have a record of what you said, and we greatly appreciate it. And so on behalf of council and the administration, meeting adjourned.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
yeah, Tis, I think once, let's say you've got a plan, you've got an idea. And you come before council.